The following is a paid preview for a game seeking funding on Kickstarter. The product seen here is a work in progress and is subject to change during the duration of the project. Hi everyone, I'm Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, and welcome to my Kickstarter preview to Robo Junkyard. And this is by Evan Games, plays 2 to 4 players, and plays around 30 minutes. So this is a card game where you're trying to get rid of your junk cards and blow up piles and see who can get rid of them first to get points. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at Robo Junkyard. Alright, so what I have set up here is a 4-player game. So I'll go ahead and just start off what a typical game setup looks like at the beginning of each round. You do this at the beginning of every round. You have a deck of cards. You're going to give that a shuffle first. You're going to draw 4 cards. Go ahead and look at them. And then you're gonna put one off to what's called the collection. This is like cards that are kind of like off in the game, and unless there are some cards that interact with it, the rest of the cards we go into a stack called the extra stack. This is cards that you're gonna play later, and you must get also rid of those cards in order to win the game. And then you're gonna go to draw the rest of these cards, and then you're gonna choose one of these, and you're gonna put one, into the extra stack there. Okay, so the game is played like a ladder climbing game. If you aren't familiar like that, it's kind of like a trick-taking game. If you aren't familiar with that, let me explain. So you'll be playing a card first, and this is the purpose of this demonstration. Another player will play a card on top of that. Cards will have abilities that will let you do all sorts of things in there. For example, you play this one. After playing, if this card isn't the only card in this pile, you may choose an opponent who must reveal their hand. Alright, so all the cards will have special abilities that do something there. So the next player will go and they'll play a higher card on top of that. And then the next player will go, so it'll be red certain, and you have to play a higher card on top of that. Until which point a player cannot play a higher card or a card to get rid of cards on top of that, in which they would have to take the whole pile and add them back to your deck. Now there's some cards here, for example, like this 5 has a star on it, and these are special cards. If they are in the pile in the middle as you're taking cards, they are getting rid of first, because these are mainly kind of like rule breaking kind of effects in there, and these are actually unique per robot in the game. So each robot has a special star card that they can play off of that. Now the cards game keeps going till one player gets enough to get rid of all the cards for one or all of them, in which they would grab the extra stack, continue playing, and that player will have to get rid of those cards too. And then the first player who gets rid of all their cards will gain 2 victory points and add these to their robot card over here. And the second player will actually just receive 1. Okay, so after a player receives all 6 victory points on the robot, they achieve the winning condition and wins the game and is the best robot of them all. Now, most of the cards in the game do have a special effect, so let's go ahead and go briefly through each of them. So when you play these, usually they will activate. So here's 0, one of the easier ones. This card may always be played regardless of value. This is great, just a card that just to have, and hopefully you can go sneak around, someone else takes the pile in there. So 1, after playing, if this isn't the only card in the pile, you may choose an opponent who must reveal their hand. So this is great there's a lot of strategic card play in there, especially if you're going to go through all of that. Alright, that's good. That's a good idea. Alright, so this card... Alright, so... Now the game has different cards, and all of them have different effects in the game. So let's go ahead and just briefly go through all of them. So, starting with the 0 card. 0 is it's the lowest card, but it does reset the pile. This card always can be played regardless of value, which is always pretty nice. This is the one. After playing, if this isn't the only card in the pile, you may choose an opponent who must reveal their hand. 2, you may be played on a 2. In most cases, you will have to play a card higher when it's on the pile. If there are 3 or more 2s on top of the pile, blow up the piles, which is kind of funny. Above the pile is, I didn't get to mention though, it's basically resetting the pile. That's all it is. You get rid of piles, the whole card piles off to the board, and the pile blows up. And what's great about that also is that the player who is that might be taking the pile don't have to take all the cards in there. That could be such a hassle just to get rid of those cards. 3. And playing skip the next player's turn. When this card is on top of the stack, the active player must play a lower value card opposed to the higher value card. If not, then that means they're going to have to take the pile, of course. Okay. Usually the 5s in the game will have a star seed. These are the special cards, and each of them are different. So after playing, you may take another turn. Let's go ahead and I'm going to quickly look for these. The yellow robot actually has a special card for the 9, so this card must be played alone. After playing, you may peek at the card in the collection. I guess you can try to figure out the number from there. Here's a 5 from a different one. May be played on an odd number regardless of value. After playing, you may draw your extra stack, which is great, so you get more cards to play with. Okay, 6. After playing, you may swap a card in your hand with any card in the collection. Alright, 7. After playing, if you have less credits than each opponent, the credits I believe are the victory points in the game, you may blow up the pile. Yep. 8. You may play on an 8 if there are at least 2 8s in the row on top of the pile. Blow up the pile. Number 9. After playing, you may peek at the card in the collection. Number 10. After playing, blow up the pile. So those are the cards that you'll be playing in this game. So that was a quick overview. Of the game. So I'll just give my quick thoughts on this. First of all, it's going to be very familiar to those who have played games like ladder climbing games or trick-taking games. It's kind of like part of that same genre where you're just going to try to play cards until you go out and you're going to score points that way. With the thing being, what's the catch of the game is that the game has special effects for all the cards, and also that each of the robots themselves actually have a special card with them, so this gives a different kind of feel in there. It gives the game a bit more personality in there. I do also find it really fun just to blow up the piles in there. You see the piles building up. You want to play that 10 card at the right time. You want to save that 10 card for the right time. Hopefully you're going to play it at because I know there's a card that you can only play lower cards, and unfortunately if someone plays that means you have to take the card. But if you're able to play that 10 card and blow it up, it's more of a relief for most of the players, so you don't have to pick up all the cards and try to scurry and try to play as much there again. Now the full game of this plays around 30 minutes. That is until someone gets 6 points, and now 6 points is seen a lot for each round, but remember that every time that one person wins a round, that they get 2 points and another player gets 1 point, so it's gonna happen a little faster than that. I would put this game under the category of a light filler, since just play around. I would say even under 30 minutes. You can also just change the rules of the game, just play even shorter games, or just play without the points, just have fun with it. That's why we typically do what these kind of games is, that we just keep playing until we want to play the next one. I would also say this is a great game for families. The game is very simple. Even though there's not a lot of rules to teach, the only thing I'm just a little worried about is just there's the effects in the cards, just a little bit of reading. If it were me as a kid, I probably don't want to read all the cards. I mean, there are over 10 different cards. They have, each of them has text, and you have to read and teach them all the rules. But what's nice of it, that most of the cards are the same except for the special cards for each of the robots. But I think with the very simple rules, the cutesy art, I think it's gonna be great for that. All right, that was Robo Junkyard. So this is a game that's on Kickstarter right now, or at least maybe very soon. I'll go ahead and go drop down a little bit into the description. There's a link to the campaign, and go ahead and look through it and see if this is the game that you like to support. Anyway, I am Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, and I'm here to always remind you to keep on stacking games. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on board and card games. This is the Cardboard Stacker, and remember to keep on stacking games.